this is something I might have alluded to previously, and it's not really even nothing that I feel that I would want to present, or necessarily want or prefer to present. So I don't know exactly what all I'll go into. So I'm really just willing to capture this moment that I had thought of this again or whatever. But maybe I could return to it and connect it. Bitch ass. As you should know, there's no bitch assness permitted. I would say allowed. But permitted is a better term to refer to it. You know what I mean? Like in the vicinity. There's no haters in the dwelling place of the player's emporium. There's no space for it. You know what I mean? It's like it's already all of these different swirling energies when it comes to realness, right? And trillness is not even so real as it is true and real mixed together, and that's where you get the trilogy from. You know what I mean? You get the trill, the three-sidedness of pure P BNC. There's no space. There's no more letters for the bitch ass. Yes. There's no space. There's no more letters for the bitch ass. The thing about it though, like it is like as far as stone cold, killer, cutthroat, menacing. I won't say malice, but grimace. You know what I mean? You see, it's like it's where it goes, it's where it leads, is what it will end up happening. You become cultured, and I don't want to have to say corrupted, but that's always an element of it, because what ends up happening is it is that you don't have to put in work. It's just the work is there, and somebody has to do that dirty work. It is a dirty job, and it has to be done. It is a dirty job, and it has to be done. At least to a certain extent, and that's what I'm mentioning. At least to a certain extent. That's what I'm opening for discussion as far as the necessariness of course, this dirty work. This trench work, as we say. Yes? These activities, these services, these offerings to the darkness, yes? And that's what I'm mentioning. Because honestly, if you ain't cut that way, if you're not built like that, from that cloth, if that's not nothing that's in your blood, born with it, that you was raised around, because you can't help where you're born, when you're born, or even while you're born. Yeah. But you can. And that's what I'm saying. It's all of it comes to up to and down to. It comes around to and over to. It comes out to and into. Through your becoming, through your beholding. The holding, of course, of the code, that is the G code, the street code. You know what I mean? Because that's a brotherhood. Blood. Automatically. Blood in, blood out. Just like America, just like every country is forged of blood. Any original kingship, nigga. Any original noblehood is forged on blood, through blood. So that's the stark, stern, strict, and hard truth, and, about the pillars and principles. Mm-hmm. Strength, knowledge, truth, love, peace. Mm-hmm. God is the enforcer, the sustainer, the establisher of all goodness. But this world It's not a good world. This planet we living on as people, it's the best place in that it is the only place that I like it. Is only one Earth in the entire universe in all of dimensions. Even in other dimensions, that's not really even relatable, because another dimension, there's alternate as well as parallel dimensions for every thought that you have. For every thought that is born, it's actually living, breathing in another fucking dimension. Fool. You understand me? That's what a demon is. That's what an angel is. Okay? Now, as far as hosting, like I said, nigga, holding. I say holding, upholding, when you become and then you behold, and hosting. Yes. You know what I mean? You are wielding now. You are a facilitator, basically. You know what I mean? You're a literal host, nigga. An MC, master of ceremonies, nigga. That's what MC stand for. A master of ceremonies. Now, what is a ceremony? You know what I'm saying? It's a ritual. Blood ritual. Sound, right? It's connected to that blood, right? Which is that water. Yes. That substance, yes. Okay? That life. Okay, that pain. That blood, ain't no blood spilt without it being felt some type of way. And that very sensation in itself is connected to sound in that way as well. Okay? But as far as killer shit. You know that you're feeling it. We made that. What about that song, bro? Y'all niggas forgot about that killer shit. I ain't forgot about that. They always be talking about lap dance and all them other songs, cuz I bet you that fool ROB don't remember that killer shit. I remember that shit. I don't even remember my verses though for that shit. Yeah, man. It's raw, bro. It's rawness, like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's right then, like, up front, nigga, eye to eye, nigga, strangle a motherfucker to death, nigga. To the edge of death, nigga, just to allow him to gain life enough to be strangled longer, nigga. It's that killer shit, right? And what make a nigga that way? Shit. A motherfucker feeling like it's not that work to be done. It's not work to put in place and to rearrange and stand, you feel me, cornered and snapped into whatever groove life put them in. You feel me? I'm from the Ville, brother. You know what I mean? Gutter. Gritty, grunge, sewer, sludge, nigga. You understand me? This nigga vomit, nigga. Fucking feces and excrement, nigga. All that shit. I'm not glorifying. It's not nothing to be glorified. That's what I'm saying. That's the dark side, brother. You know what I'm saying? That's the dark side, and it's not nothing to glorify. It's a necessary evil. It was a necessary evil. Will it always need to be? But shit, that's a question that you need to be clear on. Because that is the question that's always over our head in every decision that we make, and as far as exactly how far we're going to take it. You could start somewhere, but it's got to end up somewhere. It's going to grow into the larger parts that it already involves. No matter what type of little picking away or little sort of, you know, safe little chunks you want to try to take out of it. Yeah. I mean, we throw safety to the wind, brother. You feel me? If you can't walk down the street, nigga, with your head high, nigga, knowing that you gotta go at any moment and that you gonna be alive whenever that moment is, nigga, you gonna be the most alive you ever been. Otherwise, then you moving backwards, nigga. If you ain't the most alive you ever been, then by the time you went, that mean that shit. You feel me? What you was born for. You understand me? What you was born for. You know what I mean? How you look your mom in the eye. And it's hard because, like, shit, our mamas aren't, it's always contingent upon another, that blood, you feel me? That blood worship, that blood fucking order, you feel me? That blood thirst and lust of these nations, bro. Right? So I understand it. Like, we have our own little nation, in our neighborhood to a certain extent. But that's always just still sort of just how we allow ourselves to feel. And it's like I said, that's that code and that brotherhood and that structure and that what is called that the principle sort of it's another word I was thinking. But I didn't got to talking about this. I wasn't supposed to been talking. Yeah, man, it's that code, and you gotta. They say gangsters make the world go round, and I'm not speaking on no gangsta ass shit. But I'm talking about mob shit too, though. You know what I mean? As far as just, you know what I mean? Missions over bullshit, basically. You know what I mean? You can switch it however it does work. It works in many ways. But absolutely, yo. You know what I mean? It's like it's not all about money, but it's like at the same time when you mashing and you're responsible, right? And you feel me? You devoted to this code, to this devotion, this contribution, this vision, this allegiance, right? What is your allegiance really to? What are your allegiance to? You know what I mean? Like, what is your alliances, right? I always say that, right? I always say, what's your allegiance? What's your alliance? You know what I mean? Is it to a color? You know what I mean? Is it to a place, a flag? Is it to a color? Is it to a flag? I said, what's your allegiances to, cuz? Is it to a color? Is it to a flag? Either way, it's gonna be that on a larger spectrum. But it's deeper than that because it all comes from somewhere. All of that, every color comes from the first. Every flag comes from that first. I mean, what was the first flag ever made? Nah, you tell me, nigga. I'll spell it out for you, shit. Careful with them letters, man. Careful with them letters. Loco. You know what I mean? Get you caught up in the twist them letters, man. And so it's like, it's all about your heart, man. It's all about your heart, bro. And it comes down to the love, you feel me? And you know what I mean? Your courage, bro. It's about your courage. They say that is the egg bait. Courage is the link to your ancestors. For life. You know what I mean? And you wanna be brave. Right? You don't wanna, well, I mean, most of us wanna be brave, but some of us are broken, you know what I mean, turned away from that whole macho sort of domineering, threatening thing because they see it's like, that's not peaceful, for one. It's not always the most wisest thing, right? But as far as being conniving, that's not respectable. That's not respectable. It's not respectable either to cause trouble. Either. So that's the two sides of it, right? You know what I mean? When you down to do some shit, what's your parameter? You feel me? What's your gauge? What's your guidance that's gonna keep you structured, basically? If you know what I mean, the more shit you get into, just like that nigga Joe Pesci from Goodfellas, right? This nigga, he was lawless. He was ruthless. You feel me? He was they made their own laws, basically. That's what I'm saying, right? So like, but he did something that it got him popped eventually because he really popped himself. You know what I mean? Because when you come down to it, it's like he would rather have not been popped by nobody else. He became, you know what I mean? Because when you come down to it, it's like he would rather have not been popped by nobody else. He became God, basically. He decided life, my nigga, or not, in a mere notion, nigga, to where it corrupted him. It didn't even really corrupted him. It was just that ill. It was just that wickedness, you know what I mean? It was that ill, cause that sick of a impulse to where it was like, yeah, nah, nigga, this right here this is real, nigga. This is raw realness, nigga. You know what I mean? Out of hand or not, it's still pure power, nigga. But pure power is not force, right? It's only your association with it, right? It's your relation to it. It's your experience and the sensation of the texture of it. You know what I mean? It's like you're able to touch it a little bit, but it's untouchable. Power is untouchable, okay? And when you come into peace, which is the true power, right? Because things are going to fall together how they're going to fall together, and in the best way to manage it, to manifest it, to guide it, to direct it, not control it or manipulate it, is to, like my people's who Ron B said, is to be peace, right? Be peace, because everything is peace for one, right? But you got the peacekeepers and the enforcers. You got the law keepers or the law makers, the literal law makers of it, right? Who was the original law makers? Yes, because even Sonat or Sonan, what the nigga name, the first philosopher ever, was supposedly a lawmaker who came to the continent to learn how to the art of lawmaking. This is before the inception of all philosophy, of all modern thought, of all fucking, you know what I mean, conventionalized wisdom, touchable wisdom, right? Worded, right? Before the Greeks even had their official language, before Latin existed, okay? Before even Roman language existed, right? Because the Romans came, I think, after Greek. The Romans was actually an offshoot of Greece. It was like the Greeks, they became Rome. They in the same area, but then a bunch of the Greeks, because the Greeks couldn't agree on shit, so they wanted to go, swell up in another area. I do believe so, and then that's how we get Rome, and that's how we got the church today. Okay, that's where the Vatican is at, right there in Rome. It's Roman. Okay, now that's blood ritual at its height of malevolence, okay, as far as taking that power out of hand, right? The power then now it starts to take on its own life and entity, just like those thoughts and those dimensions. Peace, which is the true power, right? Because it still patches through that courage. Because it takes courage even to do heinous mass murder, right? It starts as a cowardly act. It starts as it may be insecurity or some sort of imbalance, but it gets deeper, and it's and then at a point you become non-courageous, and a courageous act such as the continuation of destruction, then it automatically eats you up. But by that time, you didn't build courage up. Yeah. You got to, right? You got to keep a face. You got to keep the mask on, and that takes popping out at the moment, being ready. Sometimes luck, right? Especially if you wasn't already doing it for the right reason, which is that's true courage, is to stand up for something that is larger than you, right? And a lot of that did happen, but it was misdirected. It was misunderstood as to what was going on. Like Joan of Arc, right? Like many people that did crazy shit because they felt they was doing something bigger than them, but really they just really wanted to feel the true power, right? And once they did, then they was able to see. But by that time, everybody else was already, mystified by the shit, and it had took on a life of its own. It was avalanching out of control, and it was a domino effect, and it led one place, but did a lot of shit in the midst of it in the meantime. As far as though like that, being ready, it's gonna take that. It's gonna change you, right? I know most of my niggas, man, they don't want that for you. Like, they see you talking about all this shit. Like, if you really with it like that, you're not gonna be saying shit about it. First of all, because you end up under the fucking prison, nigga, with multiple sentences you will never finish. That's lifetimes after your lifetime. You've been sentenced, nigga, in a prison. For half the shit niggas acting like they want to talk about that and did on records, like, you know what I mean? Or they will do, or or whatever. Like, the whole association is there's no space for that. It truly is. It really is. Obviously, it is, because it's going on, and there is a place for it. And I'm not knocking it whatsoever, because it's gonna fall where it needs to fall. Like I said, as far as being peace and that being a true power. And that, in a lot of times, is the motive for what leads us to being so determinative and absolute and relentlessly unrelenting, right? Towards like, yeah, I know how this is gonna go. You don't. You are trying to act like it's not gonna go how I know it's gonna go, but it's fucked up because I gotta follow this code, because the code is larger than me, right? And it's brought me through some things that would have took me under, with others that also was supporting the courage I was exhibiting, the courage I was building within myself, with the rest of the courageous ass individuals, good fellas, basically. And I'm not, it's all bad. Like, and that's what I'm saying. It's as bad as it gets, basically. It's, you know what I mean? It just gets badder and badder. But like I said, sometimes bad thing is a good thing. Sometimes the worst thing is the best thing. It really depends. But you gotta be careful as far as that. And that's the whole thing, like, you know, stone face, straight up. Masculinity is a whole nother thing. As far as masculinity, it's not so emotionless. It really is. And I really would prefer for it to be that. But the world is so twisted now, to where it's like there's this wedge between power and principle. Right? There's this wedge between power and principle. Power and principle. Right? Because there's a larger game. There's a fuller rotation. Right? We at the very curve, right? You know what I mean? Like, just before dawn, basically. The darkest point before the dawn, nigga. We at the darkest point before the dawn, fam. Yes? As far as the son of the dawn, who? Right? Coming up out of it, coming back around, basically. Yes? But being that that's the polar contrast, right? That's that sharp switch, nigga. That intensity, that very power, that very carnage, nigga. That intensity, that very power, that very carnage, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, like, once you taste blood, cuz, you're never the same. You're never the same. You know what I mean? It's like you're so connected to everything that's ever been, to a certain extent. Even deeper, like, I mean, as far as what I was saying about painful, not even just death, but just anguish. It takes on a life of its own in those dimensions, and this is reality. Thoughts live forever. Where they live forever? Right? They beyond time and space. Oh, where? How? Yeah, well, it's a lot of different thoughts that was developed, that was corrupted, that was fucking mutated, brother. Purposely, brother. That's what the Dark Ages entailed. It wasn't just mutilation, bro. It wasn't just physical torture. It was spiritual torture going on, and it wasn't just them times in that area. It's happening now, right now, through this, in the technology, nigga, in the media, cuz. Spiritual torture, nigga. Grotesque mutations of the thought. This nigga's dwelling in gritty, grungy, grimy sewage sludge of the imagination, okay? On some heinous, perverted ass shit. Feeling like, oh, well, look, you know what I mean? But see, once they go into them depths, nigga, and that's not even blood they taste, and they tasting bile at that point. That's not even blood they would taste, nigga. Because if you tasting blood, that's real. Like, this is some other shit. I mean, to taste blood is more you connected to the real steps in your life and what's connected to what's actually possible and what actually you have done, and not what it is that you're entertaining in your mind, not related to anything that you have done or would actually do. Right? That courage. Yeah. You feel me? So like when you locked without that courage, then you revert to that perversion, basically. You know what I mean? And that's what happened. I'm not, you know what I mean? This is the situation. Like, even, you know what I mean? They talk about those kids, the sex ring of those orphans in those tunnels. These is virgins. This is virgin blood. Okay? Now this, y'all know you know about that, right? Right? About even drinking virgin blood, and how it's supposed to make you younger and shit like that. This is not all propaganda, man. This is not all conspiracy, man. It's been happening. It will be happening. And that's the whole part as far as what allows it to continue was us feeling like this necessary evil will remain to be necessary. And I'm not going to say whether that's true or not, or real or not, or trill or not, or raw or not. Because that's the three sides. The rawness, the realness, and the trueness. You know what I mean? To the G to P to B and the C. To the G to P to B and the C. Alrighty. But it's absolutely either or. It's absolutely either or. Necessary to remain necessary or not. Okay, now that's going to take the same thing. What it's going to take? What is it going to take? That's right, it's going to take courage. It's going to take courage, it's going to take concentration, it's going to take brotherhood, it's going to take principles, codes. And in reality, you know, and focus, you know what I mean? And having a structured approach and having a proven structure, and not necessarily so proven as much as reliably integral, you know, enriching and engaging. And even if it's not proving, it could be revealing, you know, right? Because it's like you don't want to give shit away. You don't want to expose yourself. You don't want to, you know, you don't want to incriminate yourself, right? But there's no secrets unless, of course, there's real secrets. And that's what I'm saying, the real secrets. And that's what is protected, is the necessary secrets. But at this point, and that's why I'm saying, like, it may not be necessary. There definitely needs to be some sort of adjustment, or I guess you could say enhancement, because there are no secrets no more. There are no more real secrets, guys. Back in the day, it was between you and whatever other two, right? You, really, it could just be you. It can really just be you, right? And it always still can be, but something's gonna happen, and people's gonna piece shit together because it's not nothing. Like I said, there's no structured approach. There's no focus as well as respectable pillars of principles. There are, but they're not complete all the way. They're not in wherever they are actually complete. They're not coherently conclusive or inclusive. And that's another thing about just the opposition and the differences, the conflicts, and the confliction. Basically, it's confliction, right? Because you got transgression, and then you got confliction. You know, and confliction is not necessarily always conflict. Because conflict is that's really what it is we was talking about, right? Because, you know, that's an altercation. It's a conflict, basically. But altercation is not always necessarily a conflict. I mean, it necessarily is. However, it's not always, it's not so involved like that every time that there's an altercation. You could be fighting somebody you love. It's not necessarily a conflict. It is technically, but that's even like, there's an element of necessariness in that to a certain extent, because these energies and these trace sort of remnants of imbalance, of unnecessariness, has to filter its way through a real and true and raw and pure circulation, as well as experience. Right? Right? That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? That's the circulation from the dawn to the midday to the dusk. You know what I mean? And to the midnight. You know what I mean? When it's coming back around, that's all that fake ass shit that you can see, right? Coming around the sunset to where now it's coming through the cleansing until it reaches that next dawn. The cleansing through the trill shit. You know what I mean? Through actual action and not just, you know, understanding or intention. They say the road to hell is it's with good intentions, yes. But what about bad intentions? What about bad intentions? And that's what I'm saying also. There's also that secret, unnecessary shit, right? Or that's unnecessary. The unnecessary shit that's in the open, in the light of the day, right? Coming around to the necessary, right? Through the necessary, right? But then we got the necessary that's coming through the unnecessary, right? And that's those secret fucking child sex rings. You know what I mean? All of these fucking creepy ass stalkers, you feel me? Or whatever the fuck is. All type of crazy shit. All type of crazy shit. I mean, I'm not gonna go down the line and get angry, you know, about it. But like I said, there's things that go on that is less known behind doors, you know, behind closed doors, in the hearts of those courageous ones who have to live with that and sleep with that, with those nightmares, you know, who willingly trade, you know what I mean, who willingly offer themselves to the darkness, like I said, right? Because they see, like, if they don't do it, then they will be less of who it is they know that they are. Now they can change, but for now, that's gonna have to change with them. What is needed to be done right now, you know, and that is a principle in itself. That is itself, you know, it is a protection in itself. You know, because it's not always so wrong or right as much as it is real or fake. And there's a lot of wrong in place of right now. And that's how I'm saying what I'm saying. Right? There's a lot of right in place of wrong right? They say don't have no type of sex till you get married. That's not necessarily a bad thing unless it's not really something that you would do. If that's how you made, then that's good to stay true to yourself. But if you're surrounded by prostitutes your whole life and you need to connect and you happen to be, you feel me? However you're made, it's good to work towards that. But if it's not in your spirit, you have to grow towards that. And it's gonna take that filtering through one way or the next. It's not the same for everybody, right? Like, you know what I mean? You might be born in the capacity and propensity to do some shit like that because you wouldn't even know what to do anyway. So it's like you can just wait and be guided through it. with another source of more wholesome person, but not all of us are wholesome. I mean, some of us are half-some. Some of us are degenerate. And it's not so realistic to try to walk a path that's completely out of your jurisdiction. Right? But when the path for you that's in front of you still needs tracking, still needs to have the lamppost, you feel me, erected so as there to be direction and it's fucking guidance, right? There to be some sort of traction made on those. We supposed to forget about those paths. Those paths leading somewhere already. Those paths have been made already, is what I'm saying, right? So they're going to lead somewhere, right? And if they don't lead back to where they're supposed to go, then whoever else is on another path, they stray into this path. That's what I'm saying. It's a fucking snatch and trap, and that's the whole part. Why, Genus, Stoneface, mob shit gets demonized. It should be though too, because it's never so necessary, and it is a tendency to be corrupted and defiling. There's defilements already though, bro. There's already defilements to begin with, as far as even just life in this realm. It's all part of the same thing. It's about staying true to who you is and growing to include more of all that you are. Because who you are is a part of all that you are, but there has been this degeneration through generations. And we got these remnants and these sediments that we share, but it's shaped. We have our own shapes. Like I said, with the puzzle pieces, yes. But there's parts of the puzzle. This is a large puzzle, right? That can't be put together until other parts are put together, right? Because these shapes is just too similar. Some of the shapes are too similar as far as like the colors, right? You can't tell what really is on the shape, even if you could put the shape together, because every shape is unique enough. Even if it's the same shape, because you got some puzzles that be the same shape, but the only way you're going to tell exactly where this particular shape goes, even though it's shaped like another shape, exactly like another shape, it has a different image on it, right? And so you got to put that to the side, right? And really, the smartest thing to do is to put all the ones that shape the same in the same pile, right? But then you probably want to separate it also by the color. Right? So I would say separate it by color. It's two ways to do it. It's really two ways to do it. And that's if you even separate shapes before you even go in. Sometimes you just put together what fit, and you got to have pieces of the puzzle off to the side that's already connected. But then sometimes shit's like I said, since you got the same shape, you going by the image basically, right? What's in the light, right? And you going by the image, and what you gonna have to go by the image for the most part. Because especially if it's shaped the same, right? And that's automatically gonna be the situation, right? Because they talk about reincarnation, bro. Not every soul that's born is a reincarnated soul, right? And if souls are being reincarnated, brother, right? And they said this in that one movie, and it tripped me out because I was like, dang, that's cool. That nigga really said that in a movie, right? And it didn't crack the world in half, like, right? It's like, and this is what I mean, like, as far as like niggas be feeling like they smart, like, and letting the dark shit go on when that dark shit is keeping you even relevant. It's keeping you even able to operate in immunity, basically. Otherwise, nigga, your ass would be enslaved, nigga. Right? Because if they don't already dilute the what is called the uprisal, right? The impunity, then it's always a threat for the conquered to rise back up. Right? We have free minds right now, but those free minds have to be broken. And that is the danger and the risk of continuing this necessary evil shit. But what's necessarily evil, right, is not always defined as the bad thing, the worst thing, right? It's just the fake shit. and having to fake in certain situations when that's never necessary. It had been, but then these clever ass, patient ass, waiting for the, you know what I mean, that courage basically to be watered down, right? Because once it hit 49%, it's already not necessarily too late, but it's got to be moving back up. Otherwise, it's not enough to go around. You know what I mean? That courage is not enough to go around, man. Especially for all the time that it was there and it was being used backwards against itself to begin. But the thing about that is it only makes it stronger. It only makes it stronger. You just gotta click into it. You know what I mean? You gotta be around other niggas that's gonna support your, you know what I mean, your sickness basically, your, you know, service to, you know what I mean, that courage to what it is, you know what I mean, to the goal, to reality, nigga, to realness, okay, to the rawness, bro, right? It's like to the rawness, you feel me? Everybody's not on the same level, but you're on your level. Your level is you're gonna have to try to do what you would do. Right? You don't have to think about what you would do, right? We should be in environments and settings to where we're able to build upon our natural inclination, right? Whatever they happen to be. Right? You shouldn't be trying to fit in because your natural inclination wasn't accepted, and so now you have to go learn another sort of impulse, or at least explore another side impulse or repressed impulse as a trade-off to belong in an area where it's a threat to your soul, to your wholeness, to your integrity, right? Which that's something you got to trade off and you got to kind of maneuver through when it comes to inclusiveness and togetherness, right? But it should at least at least 51, 52% raw and real, more so. Just like that courage under the 49 is no group, is no, you know, that rawness and realness and naturalness should be the same. Like if courage, that's what I'm saying. Like if courage is not natural, then you gotta go back you gotta track it back. You gotta instill it. You gotta you have to return to the onset of it, where you would ever be anywhere without your courage. Right? Because that's what it is. Like that's what the streets will train you to do is not be a fucking bitch ass nigga. There's no bitch assness. There's no space for the bitch assness. Right? Like fear is what I'm saying, basically. To a certain extent, it's not even just about being cool. It's about being certain, right? And being willing and being open and being and trusting and having trust. It is about trust, because I would say ready, but that's a trick too. That's a trick too, and that's some shit that gets me fucked up, because it's like, it's not even that I'm so, because really that's being scared in itself is always, you know, being on alert. That's another form of fear in itself, is to stay on alert, right? And that happens either way with that imbalance, because of this just the situation we in on the earth, you know. Where it's like you gotta be ready, otherwise you ain't even full-fledged with your shit, and it's like you in the mix, involved with some shit that it took a life of its own, and it's like you gotta stay as large as it's grown to be in reference to how the expanse, the full vastness that it already is related to, and that it is part of that cycle, right? Of every life that's ever been, every decision ever made, in secret or not. You dig? Because that's the whole game, right? These thoughts connect without us connecting to the thoughts on their own, automatically. In the fact that they're, in the sense that the nature of them is thought, is conscious energy, it's consciousness in itself, conscious energy. It's automatically connected, right? So that's something that we can sense intuitively through those instinctual reactions. right? And that's that rush you get. That's that rush you feel. You know what I mean? That's that poppiness right there, bro. That's that alive rawness, brother. Okay? Most alive moment, homie. My homegirl, she just went to go bungee jump. I ain't talked to her since. Oh man, she's not the same. She's not going to be the same, right? She said she went skydiving a couple of times, and that's cool. That's a little more softer. It's a little more smoother. But bungee jumping, bro, that's like a yank. You dropping without no type of flotation, right? And you go into the air, into a particular layer of stratosphere, you're going to be sort of floating. You're not going to be dropping so far. You still dropping, but you so far up, it's like that's a lot of traction to cover is what I'm saying, right? That's like maybe midday. Bungee jumping is like right there at nigga the last moment of sunset into the night, and then yanking right back through the whole night like in a blink, right to dawn, back into the, you know what I mean? It's cold game, man. But yeah, as far as that rush and those thoughts connecting in secrets, right? You feel me? You think about a killer, nigga. That nigga's, he's gotta die with those secrets, brother. You feel me? That's a decision that nigga making. And sometimes it's already made and just another decision to make you didn't realize he was making. And that be the worst shit, especially if he's not in an environment where that would be his natural shit, because then that in itself is used against everyone else and those connected thoughts. You know what I mean? Even in the rush that we feel. So it's like, that's that dilution of the courage below 59. So we can keep the courage at 4,000. They can keep it in the 4,000 range. Before we get to the hundreds, we ain't gotta worry about going below 49. Mm-hmm. And how we gonna do that? Have it to where the courage is at 4,000%? Shit. To where people are, those puzzle pieces are in their proper place. Right? Because we still want to put the puzzle together again once we done with the puzzle. I mean, for the most part, you get done with a puzzle. It took 2 years, 3 years to do this wall-sized puzzle, bro. And you already got other shit to be doing, but really, we don't have other shit to be doing. We don't have other shit to be doing. We don't have other shit to be doing. This puzzle is what it is we're doing. Let us do that first and learn it so that we can do it different before we move along to whatever else. Because that's what I'm saying. It's, you know, we are born where we're born. You know what I mean? We are how we are. Right? It's only so many ranges. That's going to categorize itself. That's going to arrange itself, right? And there's no secrets to begin with. Right? And where there does need to be secrets, you're not going to know that they're a secret anyway. And that's the whole problem, like, or that's the whole situation. Like, a secret is not a secret if you know it's a fucking secret. Even though you may not know the secret. But for you to know that it is a secret, if you piece that together enough, long enough, focus on that long enough, then you're going to be able to at least, it's like, it's the pure purpose for a secret, which is a special confidence, right? A special confidence between people, which it's not fair to be questioned without whatever function for it, right? You trying to see if a nigga gonna lie to you, basically. You want to see how a nigga look when he lying, basically. You want to see how, you know what I mean, how a nigga act when he's on the spot and shit. Like, oh snap, okay, well I'm on the spot. How am I act, nigga? I'm finna wild out. That's in my nature. And that's the danger. That's the drawback. That's the downside of saying quote unquote ready, right? So now I gotta not really be ready, even though I gotta be ready. Like, oh shit. I'm ready, brother. Be more ready than I know, bro. Like I said, I will wake up and I didn't already strangled you 4 times in one strangle, nigga. And I didn't even realize it because I blacked out on your ass. Right? Because that pure fucking raw ass force power rush, nigga, I'm accustomed to that, cuz. Right? And I have to, it's not really I'm giving myself to it, but it's part of what's going on. And it has to filter through some type of portal. Right? And I respect the structure, nigga. And that's what I'm saying. We talking about noblemen, right? The first knights, the first kings was knights. The first knights were nobles. Okay? And then before there was knights, there was nobles. Before there was kings, there was knights. Boy, understand me? So that's what I'm saying to you, right? Nigga ain't finna be thinking about some old fake ass shit unless he's having to hide and protect the truth, cuz. And not crime, because it's only criminalized once you try to, you feel me, assess the right or wrong in it. Like, you know what I mean? It may not have needed to happen and it did, but now we know that. And those that need to know it is going to know it before someone else needs to even think about it without even, you know what I mean? And that's the whole point of it. That's the whole point of it. It's known amongst those who know what to do with the knowledge of it. Right? So as it not to become common knowledge or commonly known or common, what is it called, information or common knowledge, basically. For niggas to know some shit is knowledge, but that don't mean that it's truth because it's known. So, but why should anything be known that's not the truth, especially when there's already secrets? Right? And there's a place for secrets, but there's no place for lies. Right? And a secret's not always a lie. It's just something that ain't focused on so much. And that's what it ended up becoming, was lies. But then lies now was now being fucking put in place of knowledge now, basically, because it just got all mixed up. It got all mixed up. And but as far as the stuff done in the dark, there's no more of that now. It really ain't, right? Because you know a person who wasn't there when they was supposed to have been there. It's like, where the fuck you was at? I know exactly everything you're doing. And a part of me is not even trying to be around you for that, but that's just the way that things have come down the line now, right? And I may not even be in a position to snitch on you or to think on you or to even share what I know, but I don't know everybody that know everybody I know at this point, right? Unless they really a true silent assassin ass and ain't got no connections like that whatsoever. And that's the only way that anything close to something like that can work. But there's no more of them, because everybody knows somebody who knows somebody that you don't know. And that's fine. It's not about knowing everybody who know, but it kind of is actually about that. It actually is about that. You can't have no type of mob motion. You can have no type of organized crime, let alone what is the opposite of crime? Service. Yes? If you ain't taking, you giving, right? What's the opposite of crime? Right? Right? You can't have that, right? It's cold. So it's like somebody knows somebody who don't know, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna come back. Like if you wasn't there, right? Somebody came up missing. You had to go kidnap somebody, or you had to go, you know what I mean? Something happened, and don't nobody know who did it, but somebody know who wasn't doing what they would have been doing, whatever. Like, and that's the whole thing, even with this first of all social media, but then also this, like, you know what I mean, this computerized technology shit, to where it's like you can't even go shopping, brother, without voice recognition, genetic code, identification. You feel me? You can't move without GPS on you. If you have any type of phone, if you ain't got no phone, then you can't be reached at any particular time. And if you don't got no phone, then you're gonna be lost because you don't even know where to go without GPS, unless you going to the same places you would already be familiar with, and then niggas gonna know you for that. Like, oh, all bad. That's non-G. That's non-player. That's what you call anti-player. All right. Anyway, I thought this then became a whole little thought. Like I was just wanting to record what I had thought about as far as the difference between not being G and then also like the G-ness is unlimited though. You can't be unlimited G. So what you gonna do? You gotta stay busy and in the mix, and that's what I'm saying. At this point, it's all type of surveillance, nigga. You feel me? The public's doing the police job now, okay? And so that's a danger, and it's not like it's what the fuck are niggas gonna do about it? Well, shit, it's gonna take that structuring of that not even so moral but principle, right? What's principles versus morals, right? But shit, that's the part. That's the part that you don't want to get mixed up with. Like I said, a wedge between principle and power. Right? What did I say? I said between a wedge between dang, I gotta listen to whatever I said before.